So, what happened to Yudoichi after the time skip? Udohata, maybe? Nope. Okay. So, last week was just dead, man. Absolutely dead. Just zilch. Nothing. Horrible. And then this week we get the chapters, the final chapter of Bleach. And I gotta say, after reading that chapter, I don't think I've ever read an ending to something that felt less like an ending than the final chapter of Bleach. Anyway, we go into One Piece. Oda didn't reference the ending like at all. I didn't pick up anything. Did you? Did you find any like hidden little sanpakuto in the manga? Because I didn't. Because when Naruto ended, Oda dedicated the entire front page of a chapter to saying goodbye to Naruto. In a very creative way, I might add. But in this case, it was like, no, there's nothing there, so whatever. And speaking of Naruto, I kind of felt like Kubo, I don't know if this was his mindset necessarily, but I do think that Kubo was basically saying like, you know what, fuck it. I'm being rushed. Fuck it. I'm going to pull a Kishimoto. Which is basically, when I say you pull a Kishimoto, what I mean is basically you dedicate the final chapter of your series to confirming the pairings by showing the offspring, the kids of the adults that used to be your main characters. That being said, we have Aokiji in the front page, reading a newspaper and eating like a shish kebab or something. He's grilling some meat. That's kind of cool. I love his penguin. His name is Camel. You know, because Oda likes being funny at times. Given the subtitle, the bounty arc subtitle of the cover pages, we know that he's reading about Luffy's bounty increase. But in all honesty, I think there's something more important in that newspaper that Aokiji should be reading. You know, specifically the fact that the revolutionary base was evacuated and that Blackbeard showed up trying to start shit, and then that they ran away after CP0 came into town. And even from the title alone, you can automatically, just immediately know what this chapter is going to be about. You know, you just read the title, which is the Vivre card that Lola gave. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is just basically like the aha moment. The moment where it's like, oh, so this is Big Mom's Vivre card, which was given to me by Lola. Therefore, Lola is Big Mom's daughter. And the giant guy previously stuck in the ground called Pound is obviously her father. Now, unfortunately, this is something that, you know, if you're a reader, if you're a One Piece fan, you probably already knew. You put two and two together last chapter, if not before then, right? So this was just kind of like, it's a moment where like you already know what's going to happen, you know the connection, but the characters don't, so you need time. The author needs time to explain, okay, this is what the characters know, let me get those characters up to where you're at, because they don't know what you know yet. So this is basically the chapter for it. You're just sitting there reading the chapter thinking to yourself, okay, this is cool and all, but what does the chapter have to offer additionally to the stuff that I already knew? There's a couple of things. Randolph and the Crane can talk. That's number one. Number two is like the Forbidden Woods, like the Enchanted Woods, are a bunch of pussies. And it looks like the Yonko, well, as of right now, Kaido and Big Mom have the same type of hierarchy. When it comes to their top tier dudes, they have three at the top. Big Mom has her three sweet commanders, and Kaido has his three calamities. Again, I still think Bobbin is one of Big Mom's commanders, and I still think, just like I think that X-Drake is one of Kaido's calamities. To me, that just makes perfect sense, structurally and in terms of, you know, just order and hierarchy. What we do find out about Cracker that was new is his bounty, which again is kind of like, oh, so this guy is kind of like the Big Mom equivalent of what Jack would be under Kaido. His bounty is 860 mil. So it's kind of like these dudes are around the 1 billion mark. And even Luffy, like when he sees him, he's like, wait, this guy is strong. The moment you hear Luffy say this guy is strong, you know he ain't fucking around. Now, what's interesting though is that by the end of this chapter, I'm just thinking to myself, where the fuck is Zoro? I mean, this guy would have been such a great opponent for Zoro, and now it's Luffy versus him. And even Nami's telling him, hey, you can't really go all out because that's not what we're here for, Luffy. We really need to get this show on the road. And Luffy's like, I don't give a shit. And this is why this fight would have been such a great New World start for Zoro, because not only does this guy have like the different arms and the swords, it's basically Zoro's Ashura mode in a nutshell. And we haven't seen Zoro use his Ashura mode ever since they entered the New World, at least not that I can remember. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, if Luffy fights this guy, it's like once they get to Big Mom, Luffy's not going to be at full. And not only that, but he has to deal with the Vince Smokes, or they're going to have to, have some type of confrontation with the Vince Smokes. By the way, I'm pretty sure we're going to see the Vince Smoke family, all of it, together pretty soon, because Cracker mentioned that tomorrow afternoon, all of the brothers will be reunited in the Whole Cake Castle. But again, it's like if Luffy takes on this guy, can he really be okay to take on Big Mom plus the Vince Smokes? And if it's not him, who's going to help him out? Because if you look at the crew that Luffy brought with him to Whole Cake Island, there's not a lot of top tier dudes there. I mean, okay, Pedro, yeah, Carrot, possibly. Jinbei was already there, but he's super strong too. But we don't know what the fuck happened. Sanji is locked up. So it's like, who can Luffy count on? Like, and I'm not talking about, yeah, I can count on you as a friend. Like, who can Luffy count on that has the power and strength to tell Luffy, you can move on, I can take care of this threat for you. You can fight the big bad. Chopper and Carrot are also incapacitated. That mirror fucking broke, that Alice in Wonderland mirror that Madame Brûlée trapped them in. And by the way, that whole King Bomb character, that tree with the mustache, did we really need another fucking tree character in this forest? I mean, come on. Another tree character. That being said, at least it's a good thing that Nami's not being attacked. The trees and other shit can sense Big Mom's essence emanating from the card, which is essentially what a River card is. It has a little bit of the essence of the person that it points to in it. So that's why when Akainu punched through Ace, Ace's card began to disintegrate because he was about to die. So that part totally makes sense. What I did think, though, was like totally ridiculous was the fact that all this time, Nami had the card stuffed in her boobs for safekeeping. I mean, this thing is asking for incredible amounts of suspension of disbelief. It's like, we've seen Nami take baths, showers, and it's like, did she not know that she had a card stuck to her boobs? Like when she put a different bikini top on or a bra, like it's like, oh yeah, there's that card Lola gave me 2 fucking years ago. The action in this chapter was pretty good too. I love how Oda draws Luffy whenever he blocks an attack that is intended for somebody that can defend themselves. I love, like, Oda just goes all out when it comes to those panels. So when Luffy steps in to stop that blade with his foot, great. Now this guy, Cracker, all right, is just, I like how his little shirt, like his design, it's like he's made out of like armor that's made out of crackers. But did you see how far he was able to launch Luffy through the forest? Nami and Pound had been running for a while. All of a sudden, you see this fucking thing hit the trees. You're like, where the fuck did this come? They turn back into the distance. It's like, oh, he's over there. Dang. Like, this guy's not fucking around. And I love, that's one of the things that I also liked about this chapter is that Big Mom, because she's so information savvy. Like, she knows pretty much what goes on all around her. She basically told this commander, sweet commander, you gotta go and take care of this kid because this guy's not a joke. He took down Doflamingo. I don't want him fucking around. He's not that big of a threat for me to actually go out of my way and out of my castle to beat him up. But I'm sending my top tier dudes. And I like that because ever since they entered the New World, a lot of people have done nothing but underestimate the Straw Hats. And that's not the case when it comes to a Yonko. The thing here is that we're getting out of the forest pretty soon because the forest has pretty much become useless after Nami pulled out that Vivery card. So it's basically just going to be like a fight between Luffy and Cracker, if not Nami trying to find a way to rescue Carrot and Chopper from Madame Brûlée's mirror. Because they definitely need time to, gather up a fighting force if they are going to present a front, and go into that tea party. That being said, I thought it was a decent enough chapter in terms of story progression and in terms of new stuff. A lot of it was already inferable. Like you could just be like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. But other than that, I thought the action was good enough to make this a decent chapter. I wasn't bored. It actually went by super fast. So that's one thing that it has going for it. It's like, yeah, it sucks that I have to wait a week for new content, but it's kind of like, okay, this wasn't tedious to read at all. So yeah, again, decent enough chapter. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you did, I appreciate that. Tell me your thoughts down below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys. Bye.